Hey guys, so I was thinking about how playing Breath of the Wild was early game, and I realized that cooking was not something that seemed important at first, but is really important at certain points of the game. I also did not find cooking very intuitive at first, and that's why I'm making this video, to explain why cooking is important, how to make good meals, and to give tips for early, middle, and late game. This means that this video will apply to you no matter what point of the game you're at. And before we get into it, wait, really fast. YouTube tells me that only about 27% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you're watching and are not subscribed, then please help me out and subscribe to this channel. Okay, let's get into it. First, I need to explain why cooking is important in Breath of the Wild. Cooking is important because of how it can instantly heal you. Just think about that for a minute. If you're, say, in a boss fight, then you can pause, heal, then unpause to continue fighting. Now, this is a big advantage, especially if you're playing in normal mode where enemies can't heal. Another thing that I can say is that cooking can give you different buffs and protections, and there are different buffs for almost every terrain. And some of the main buffs and defenses are defense up, attack up, cold resistance, heat resistance, fire resistance, electric resistance, and extra stamina. These are very important early on, and elixirs are also very useful. Both foods and elixirs can help with different buffs, and if you're, say, going into the desert, then you're going to need heat resistance for the day and cold resistance for the night. Otherwise, you will lose health very quickly, and in the early game, you do not have a very large amount of health. So, if you're unaware, you cook foods by holding them from your inventory and then dropping them onto a fire with a pot on it, and it has to have a pot on it.
If you are in the early game, specifically the Great Plateau, then it can be very easy to make spicy sautéed peppers. This meal is made by combining 5 spicy peppers in a campfire with a pot on it. This meal is really good if you need to get to the last shrine of the Great Plateau, and this meal also will give you 12 minutes and 30 seconds of cold resistance. You can find the ingredients next to the main plateau main entrance, and the Tabantha regions can also give you some. If you are in a situation that takes stamina, such as climbing or swimming, then the energizing fish skewer might be what you need. This meal will give you 3 full stamina wheels, which is the max stamina you can get, and will give you a large amount of health. This meal is made by using any type of fish and stamella shrooms. It does not matter how many of each ingredient you use. However, you can make the best meal by adding more fish and more stamella shrooms. It's fine if you use 2 fish, and the best fish that you can use is staminoka bass with 3 stamella shrooms. Chili steamed fish is good if you need heat resistance to level 1 or 12 minutes and 30 seconds. This meal also replenishes Link's 5 hearts. And the way you make this meal is by combining hydromelons, chillfin trout, and cool staffanilla. The hydromelons and cool staffanilla can be found in the Gerudo Desert in some of the areas with lower levels of heat, and the chillfin trout can be found in colder waters. Fireproof Elixir will grant you fire protection, which is useful if you need to get the Flamebreaker armor set located in Death Mountain, and that requires at least level 1 fire resistance. This elixir requires fireproof lizards and red choo-choo jelly, and the elixir is best if you use 4 fireproof lizards and 1 red choo-choo jelly. You can find both of the ingredients around the base of Death Mountain, and it is also important to note that you can buy this elixir at the Foothill Stable. If you need an attack boost, useful if you're fighting a boss or in the Trial of the Swords, then the Mighty Crab Risotto might be very useful for you. You can make this meal with razor claw crab, Hylian rice, goat butter, and rock salt. Razor claw crabs can be found on the beaches of the Necluda region and near Lurelin village. Hylian rice can be found in East Necluda and almost anywhere, really, and you can buy it in Haytano village. Goat butter can be purchased in multiple villages. Haytano, Kakariko, and Rito villages are some of the main ones. Rock salt can be found in almost any ore deposit across Hyrule. Tough fish and mushroom skewer is very good if you need to go into a fight, and always remember that you can only ever have 1 buff active at a time, as it grants defense up for a few minutes. This meal is made by combining Hylian shrooms, Hyrule bass, iron shrooms, armored carp, and armored porgy. The Hylian shrooms and iron shrooms can be found all across Hyrule and forested areas. The Hyrule bass and armored carp can be found in ponds across Hyrule, and the armored porgy can be found in the ocean off the beach of the Necluda area. They're easy to find around Lurelin village. This last meal is hearty fried wild greens. This meal will heal all of your hearts and give you a whopping 25 extra hearts. This meal is crazy and is made by combining 4 hearty radishes and 1 big hearty radish. This meal is very difficult to get early game, and if you're at the point where you have less than 25 hearts, then you probably won't be able to make this meal. So there are some big tips that I can give you if you're in the early game. The first one is to actually take some time to cook some easy meals, and this will help if you're in a fight and are on low health. Another one is to make sure to collect things whenever you see them. Look out for the glint of an item in a forest. This can help you get some really good ingredients for buffed meals. The last one is fight some monsters. They can drop items that are really good for elixirs in mid and late game. If you're in the middle game, make sure to start incorporating full recovery meals, and these can be made by putting one or more of an item with the effect Hardy, and if it says Hardy, then it will probably give you full recovery and some extra hearts. If you're traveling to Death Mountain to fight the Divine Beast Varudanya, then you can actually buy the Fireproof Elixir from an NPC at the Foothill Stable. I actually said that earlier, but this is important because you need that to get to Goron City to get the Flamebreaker gear, and this is also the stage where you can begin to get some very useful elixirs from monster parts. There's some very good monster parts that can come from higher level monsters, and Hinoxes drop a lot of good loot, which is good for starting to learn how to use monster parts and elixirs. If you're in the late game and have a large amount of health, or even all of the health you can get, then all you need to do is use one food item that says Hardy in it, and there you go. You made a full recovery meal and probably a few extra hearts, which are useless at this point. But if you've gotten to the point where you can beat the game, then you've probably picked up enough knowledge about cooking to not need all that many tips, but there is still something that I can say. And Lionel parts in an elixir can sell for a lot of money, if you farm Lionels, this could be a very profitable money-making strategy. Thanks for watching this video. It took me multiple weeks, and this is the video that I put the most effort into on this channel, and I would very much appreciate it if you watched some of my other videos on my channel. If you found this video helpful or just enjoyed the video, then you'll like some of the other videos on my channel. I would also very much appreciate it if you liked, commented, and subscribed. All of these make a huge difference in the amount that I can upload. Also, I plan on making a follow-up video about this in a fairly short amount of time because of how important cooking is in this game. I hope you enjoy it and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye!